So, all right, guys, we got to get this one right. On three, we're going to say, welcome back to Extraordinary Thoughts for on their mind. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to Extraordinary Minds.
And we back.
That'll work right there.
Yeah.
And we back. And we
Yeah.
back. And we back. And we back. And we
Y'all did y'all best. And that's all that matters.
What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcast with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thigpen, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of Extraordinary Thoughts for the Ordinary Mind. All right, so boom, it's the second episode of season 5, and you know, I really came on definitely sobering up. I came on this episode definitely sobering up because for those who don't know, I really enjoy a good Sunday. I'm talking about music playing, mimosas are flowing. After the mimosas dry up, I switch over to a little wine. No hard liquor on a Sunday. I always tell myself, no hard liquor on a Sunday. You feel me? You definitely got to keep it real classy. Brunch, might hop on the grill, just get some good vibes going. You know what I mean? But I really, the way I wanted to come on this episode, I really had to take a step back and check myself. I had to check myself. And the reason why I had to check myself is because I didn't want to come on this episode negative. No. And I definitely didn't want to come on this episode speaking negative about anybody. You feel me? So I'm going to lead with being positive first. And how I'm going to lead with being positive, I just want to take a moment and just say thank you to those who support me. Thank you for those who really support me. Those who bought my book. Those who listen to my episodes, those who have come to see me speak, those who follow me on Instagram, those who be sharing my shit. I really want to take a moment and say thank you because you really don't understand how much power you actually have until you start to influence somebody else's life. You know what I mean? It's been so many times where somebody has come up to me and they say yo, I follow you on Instagram and I really don't take it into consideration the way I should. You know what I mean? And I always try to brush it off because I try to tell myself don't get too caught up in it. And I feel like I'm doing that person a disservice. And I say I'm doing them a disservice because I don't know what it took for them to come up to me to say that. You feel me? I don't know what I've done to get them out of a dark spot. You feel me? I don't know what my words have been doing for that person. So I really wanted to come on this episode and say thank you for those who support me because that shit be blowing me away when I really receive support. It really do. When they say the gift of gab, motherfuckers be thinking the gift of gab is a gift to you. No, it's a gift to everyone else that gets to hear you speak. Now that I'm done with the positivity, I just want to just go on record and just ask, who the fuck do y'all be following? Who do y'all be listening to? Who do y'all be driving, receiving motivation from? And I ask that in the most humblest way. I ask that in the most kindest way possible. And I ask that because as we all know, the 80-20 rule, right? Based off of your diet is going to really determine the results in your workout. No matter how hard you work, if your diet is shit, you feel me? If your diet is crap, it will not matter how hard you work because you still putting crap in your body. So your body is just going to continue to be crap. So if that works in a physical sense, I want to know how it works in a mental sense. Who the fuck are you listening to? Who puts these words in your mind that is driving you towards your goals? What is the inspiration? No, because that's a little bit later on in the episode. Who the fuck is motivating y'all? Because it can't be the same people that we've been following. You see what I'm saying? It can't be. Because if it's the same people that we following, then I'm going to just be 100% honest with you. Them motherfuckers ain't talking about a damn thing. You feel me? Like they ain't talking about a damn thing. And I just want to be the first one to admit it. They ain't talking about shit. And I really wanted to come on this episode and just say that from the bottom of my heart. You know what I mean? Like from the bottom of my heart. And this isn't a diss to anybody, because I can assure you right now, the people who know they ain't talking about shit, no, they ain't talking about shit. But they just won't tell you that they're not talking about anything important. And I bring that up because a lot of times we look for motivation in others when we should be trying to look for inspiration. You feel me? Like we look to be motivated when we should be trying to be inspired. And I'm talking to you creatives as well. You trying to motivate somebody, but the reality is that you should be trying to inspire them. Let me rephrase. You're trying to motivate them, but the reality is that you should be trying to ignite the spark of inspiration within inside of them. And I bring that like it's been heavy on my heart a lot lately, just for the simple fact of being in the military. We in the military done beat the fuck out of motivation. Motor, got a lot of motive, like dumb shit like that. Like we eat, sleep, and breathe motivation. We look for others for motivation. You having a rough day at work, I need some motivation. We got a job that we need to accomplish, I need some motivation. We working late, well, God damn it, give me some fucking motivation. But a lot of us don't know that motivation is a temporary thing. It's temporary. Like motivation wears off. We at the work and we got to work late. You go out there and you tell the Marines that, hey, if we accomplish this task right now, we done for the day. That's motivation for them to knock out the fucking tasker. You giving incentives. And that's the problem, is that we give incentives, and that is what's sparking the motivation. But the thing is that we need to be inspired. Like you need to be inspired. And a lot of people will never understand the difference between motivation and inspiration. And I really want to go on record real quick and say that neither one of them are bad. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is that we don't know which one we're using. We think that we're being inspired, but the reality is that we're being motivated. And we think that we're being motivated, but the reality is that we're being inspired. I'm going to just be 100% with you. This ain't no motivational podcast. This is an inspirational podcast. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm an inspirational speaker. All I'm doing is just saying shit that's going to spark a change within you. I don't want you to be motivated by my words. I don't want you to hear me in the morning and think like, damn, hearing Meech is enough to get me through it. No. I want you to hear my story and realize that me and you, we actually vibe the exact same way. We come from the exact same path. And the fact that I was able to do it is enough to get you to be able to do it too. I'm just trying to get you through it. And I say that motivation is a temporary thing, but the thing that a lot of people don't understand is motivation is like a drug. And the problem is with most drugs is that it becomes very addictive. And when something becomes very addictive, each time you take it, the potency is always just a little bit less than what it's supposed to be. And a lot of people that you follow on Instagram, they just motivational dealers. And you know, I come from the city of Detroit, you know, drug capital. You know, I was raised around dealers. I know how this works. I give you a little bit, you always gonna come back. I give you a little bit more, you gonna come back. You gonna tell your friends, I know how this works. I'm your pusher. The problem is that you be trying to get motivation from so many people that you cannot produce it for yourself. You can't light that spark within yourself. So with this episode, the one thing that I really wanted to do, I really wanted to break down the difference between motivation and inspiration. Now, for those who don't understand, inspiration is something that you feel on the inside, whereas motivation is something that you feel on the outside. Like it's an outside thing that compels you to do something. Now, inspiration, like I take a lot of things and they inspire me to do things. You see what I'm saying? Like when I wrote the book, I was inspired in a sense of like, damn, I have never been, I'm not an author. How can I be on the stage with all of these other speakers when I'm not even an author? Everyone else is. So before I wanted to get on the main stage, I wanted to ensure that I myself was in the right category. So I drove and I pushed until I was able to create that book. Whereas being motivated, there's been times where I'm motivated. Trust me, there's been times I'm down and out at the gym. I'm going through a PT session that's really kicking my ass. I'm in an emotional rut. Shit got me down. Somebody says something that really just hits my spirit in a certain way and it just gets me going. I want you to know this. Inspiration is something that comes from the inside. You know what I mean? This is an organic thing. Whereas motivation, that's a thing that comes from the outside. It's like a voice that you hear. You know what I mean? Like that light that everybody always be talking about as they going down that dark tunnel. Motivation is that light. Inspiration is that spark. Oh, we got to ask ourselves, where are we getting motivation and where are we getting inspiration? Because once again, neither one of these things are bad. And I have to say that, like, neither one of these things are bad. But you got to know which one is going to last the longest. Inspiration will always last longer than motivation. You go on Instagram and you see somebody living their best life, that will motivate you to want to do things. But the thing is that as you start to do those things that you want to achieve, like, for example, you go on Instagram, you see somebody with the 6-pack abs and the body that you want, doing the obstacles that you want to overcome. You start to go in the gym. You got that Monday motivation. You got that Tuesday motivation, but it tends to wind down a little bit on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday. Next thing you know, you're trying to go back on Instagram to get another shot of motivation. But the thing is that it's not hitting the same way that it does. But the thing about inspiration is that you see something on Instagram. Yeah, you want to go in there. Motivation puts you through it. But then you start to realize that deep down, I don't want to just do it because I want to look good. I want to do it because I feel good. I want to do it because I remember what it was like when I couldn't fit these clothes. I remember what it was like when I couldn't do these things. I remember what it was like when I just didn't feel good looking at myself in the mirror. That's an inspiration. That's an inspiration. A lot of people always wonder where I'm driving my motivation and where I'm driving my inspiration. And I want to just my environment has a way of igniting inspiration within me. Like, I'll see something and then it downloads within my head and then I start to like digest it differently. But I will say that there are a couple of things that do inspire me. Let me rephrase. There are a couple of things that do motivate me. I'm not going to lie. Trap music. Trap music will always motivate the fuck out of me. It's just something about somebody coming out the mud and getting it that just will always just motivate me to want to do something. You know what I mean? A couple of people that motivate the fuck out of me, and I'm not even going to lie to you. Keon Clinton. Keon motivate the hell out of me. I'm not even about to lie to you. And I say that because Keon and me come from the exact same area. The east side of Detroit, 48205. Like, me and him probably don't walk by each other and didn't even realize it. So seeing him get it and become successful, it just motivates me to push forward. Another person that really motivates me is Inky Johnson. And I say Inky Johnson really motivates the hell out of me because, have you ever heard Inky? Like when I was trying to like figure out how I want to speak as a speaker, I would listen to Inky Johnson. His cadence, the way he delivered, the way he just like punched at the words, his story. It was something about that just really did it for me. Now, what inspires me? The fact that I'm a father that grew up without a father, trying to navigate through the trenches of fatherhood, doing the best that I can. And sometimes I tend to fall short. Is something that really inspires me. It inspires me because I know what it's like for my kids to not have a father. That pushes me. What inspires me is the fact that I grew up and I watched my mama really, really do the best that she could, despite the odds that were not in her favor. And no matter what the situation was, she still made it happen. It inspires me to continue to move forward because I know that if she could do it, I can do it. And the fact that I never want to feel that again, I never want to put my kids through it. That's what inspires me. Things that inspire me, that made me successful. And I really want people to understand that motivation, that'll get you from point A to B. I can assure you that it will. But inspiration will get you from A to Z. Let me say that again. Motivation will get you from point A to B. However, inspiration will get you from A to Z. I guarantee you that. And the reason why is because motivation, that's that external thing. But the thing about an external thing is that once that external factor leaves, you're left with yourself again. And if you're not coming up with that drive, if you're not pushing yourself forward, if you're not the one that's actually igniting that spark and really pushing that engine, you're going to die out. I've seen it all too many times before. And a lot of people never always ask, like, why I'm not too motivational. Like, I'm not trying to motivate you. I want you to create that for yourself. Because what you going to do when I'm not here? What you going to do when you can't log on and go into my podcast? What you gonna do? And that's the thing that I really want to bring up right there and this is my issue with a lot of motivational influencers on social media, is that they don't be giving us the tools in order to continue to move forward. And I get it. It's business. It's business. You see what I'm saying? You have to create a crave in order for somebody to go to your page. I just gave you a fucking gem in order to grow your social media, but you have to have a crave for people to go to your page. And the moment that you stop creating that crave, people are going to stop going to your page. So a lot of people that are on social media, you know, your influencers, your favorite influencer, they're not going to give you the keys to success. They might pull the curtain back a little bit just so you can see it, but they're not going to tell you how to do it yourself. They're just going to show you how they did it. To be honest with you, a lot of them don't know how to do that. They don't know how to teach you how to do it for yourself. You ain't never heard that story, that proverb. Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. A lot of these motivational fucking influencers are just giving everybody fish and y'all just eat for a day, come back and then buy another fucking fish so you can eat for another day. But they don't know how to teach you how to fish. Because to be honest with you, they don't even know how the fuck they keep catching fish. They don't know what's driving them. So if we going to do anything on this Monday morning, if we going to do anything that's going to propel us through this week, I need you to do me one favor real quick. Ask yourself what's driving you. Ask yourself what's pushing you towards your goal right now. What is the thing that makes you want to be successful? Like what's the thing that's stopping you from fucking failing? What's the thing that's causing you to overcome your obstacles, push that boulder uphill, go against the stream, go against the odds that are never in your fucking favor? Ask yourself, what is it? And when you do, you will understand what your inspiration is. Just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned Mondays and Fridays. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Meech Speaks. Once again, that's Meech Speaks. Meech is spelled M-E-E-C-H. Don't forget to share this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, follow this podcast, pass this podcast to somebody, because this podcast was dedicated to helping everyone become a better version of themselves. Even though I don't know what that type of version is, I just know that you can be better. Lastly, don't forget to grab your copy of The Extraordinary Thought from The Ordinary Mind, available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. I think there's an electrical copy. You know what it is. Stay hungry, stay motivated. I'm out.